What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Jayhawker Podcast. My name is Nate Bukaty, and today we're going to talk some Kansas Volleyball. 14th ranked in the nation on a 4-match winning streak coming into a big week at home. At the time that we're recording this, depends on when you watch this, but the time we're recording this, 4 matches in a row and a big home match against TCU coming up, and then the Sunflower Showdown in Allen Fieldhouse on Friday night. And joining me now, two of the stars of the team, we've got Ryan White and Reese Ptacek. Ptacek, I've learned the nickname. We're going to get into all that coming up. We want to let you know that we are brought to you by Xfinity. Get the nation's smartest Wi-Fi only from Xfinity. Imagine that. And from the University of Kansas Health Systems. All right, got all that stuff out of the way. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
See, and you guys did that nice and synchronized as well, so I can tell you're developing a chemistry.
For sure.
As new teammates. You've only been together because you're new here, right, Ryan? You come from Oregon State as a transfer.
Yes.
This is your second year, Reese, at the University of Kansas. What's the relationship been like? I'll start with you, Ryan, being the new one, coming in here. What's it been like assimilating to this group of players?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I had 2 different coaching staffs at Oregon State. So the coach that I committed to actually retired after my sophomore year. So we brought in a bunch of new transfers. Some girls left. So I felt like this was my second time going through it almost because we'd had that turnover. But getting in here, it was super fun. I came mid-semester, so I also just popped in the middle of the March and was like, oh, I'm here. Like, I'm going to play for spring season and hang out. But it was really needed. I think, like, being a grad student only having 1 year, I really wanted to get in with the team in the spring so I could have that extra time to, like, mesh with everyone. And then, I mean, you talk about Reese and I's relationship. She's my best friend on the team. We're roommates now. She moved in, like, 2 weeks ago into our apartment. So it's been super fun. Like, she gets to be the leader of the offense, and I like to take the defense under control. So it's been really fun to just, like, partner with her and be on the court the whole time.
So, Reese, how did you guys become friends so quickly? Do you remember like a moment when it all clicked?
Maybe it was baseball with the band.
Oh yeah.
You think so? Like
Okay,
that was like a week after I'd been here.
That was one of the first ones, but I remember you inviting me over for something. I can't remember what it was.
I just knew that I liked her from the minute I saw her.
Yeah.
And she told me she was skinning deer for her like family's grocery store back home, and I was like, "Oh, perfect. We're gonna be friends." It's a long story.
Well, I'm here for it. Skinning deer.
Well, we do
store.
like wild game processing back home, and we're such a small town. It's a huge hunting community, and so like with our connection to the grocery store, we also have a separate location that we do our wild game processing in, and that's my job. Me and my dad, we like skin deer together. And
Family bonding.
She told me that.
Yeah.
I was like,
we do like when I was back home, we would do about 1,000 a year, so it's pretty.
1,000 deer a year. Have you ever skinned a deer?
I have not.
Any interest in heading up to Wisconsin in the off season and checking it out?
If
right?
Reese lets me, then maybe I'll come up there.
Oh, I can teach.
What's the key? Like, what's the biggest? Like, what's the hardest part or the trickiest part about skinning a deer?
We got it down to a pretty good science, I think. So this is I don't know who came up with this idea, but we actually take a 4-wheeler and with a metal cord, we hook it onto the hide and we're able to rip it off with the 4-wheeler. It's so much faster than having to hand rip a hide off. It takes a lot of work. And so being able to use a 4-wheeler to be a little bit more efficient with it definitely helps. But my dad does the harder stuff. I do like the surrounding and my dad does the main job.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would like talk to hunters about their orders. I would. You need a roast.
Do you hunt?
I don't.
Okay.
No, we kind of just. I mean, when it's hunting season, we're too busy working with
Yeah.
the deer to really go hunting.
Gotcha.
But, yeah.
You're skinning too many deer to have time to get out there and sit around in a
I'm
deer
so glad I
stand all
brought
day,
this up,
right?
actually.
Oh my God, I was not expecting this at all.
I wasn't either, but you never know where these podcasts are going to go. That's what makes this fun.
So that's always my fun fact, though.
Yeah.
When people are like, "Tell me about yourself," I'm like, "Fun fact."
I know how to skin deer.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of them. And I would not have guessed that a 4-wheeler was a key to, making the process easier. So I'm learning things.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Ryan, you're learning as well. Now, the thing that I think is interesting for you, Ryan, is you transferred to Kansas from Oregon State. Coach Ulmer was at Oregon.
Yes.
He comes here. So I'm going to talk to you about what going through a coaching change is like here in a second, Reese. But for you, Ryan, how well did you know him, as rivals and all that? And how did that play into your decision to come here?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously Oregon State and Oregon were rivals. Like
Yeah.
the in-state rivalry, everything is super tough. And then when we played against them in the Pac-12 my first 3 years. So played them 2 to 3 times almost every season, depending on how many we want in non-con. But knew them pretty well. Like I mentioned with my current staff, or the first staff, when that head coach retired, one of the assistants is Erica Nassar, who is now our assistant coach here. So she actually became a part of the Oregon staff after the Oregon State staff. And then just competing against them, like, knew of them and knew how, like, highly talked about they were, and their girls were always so kind. Like, after games, they'd come up and tell you, great job, all those things. But then, yeah, I entered, like, the grad student portal, and that enters, like, you can enter earlier if you're a grad student. You don't have to wait till everyone else. You can enter in the middle of the season, which is what I did. Got on a call with them, and from the first moment I talked to them, I was like, they're super great. And then obviously having that connection to Erica Nassar before was like super easy. So originally was committed to the University of Oregon as well. So like I committed there because I thought the coaching staff was so great. And then I get a call in January after like a 6 a.m. cycle class, and Matt's like, hey, by the way, I'm going to Kansas. And I was like, what? Like, Kansas is in the middle of the country? I've literally never been to Kansas until my official visit here.
Yeah.
But essentially it was like when it was the similar recruiting process. I just did it over again to come here to Kansas, but they were just like, we hated competing against you. Like, they were like, we literally tell our hitters not to hit at you, so we wanted you on our team. And then I got the opportunity to come out here, and I loved it.
That's like the best compliment you can get almost, is when the coach from the other team hates you.
And for Oregon, like Matt took that program and like they did a lot with it. They went to 8 Sweet 16s and a couple like final, like Elite 8s. And so it was just like to have a compliment like that from a coach who's very like highly respected was very nice.
Yeah. So what about for you, Reese, with going through the change? What's that been like?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. It's a lot of like taking his experience and his knowledge and how can I implement that into the way that I play volleyball. I mean, he has so much to offer us, and it's I think it's more on us as players to take in what he's giving us. Like, if we could become so good if we just take in all the knowledge he has to give us. Like, he knows all the answers. He knows how to run the game, and it's just like, how do we continue to build it into ourselves, create those habits that he wants, create the systems he wants. And when we do, it's such a interesting way to play volleyball that it's so much fun.
I mean, he even played with us today. So he was a setter in college, and we had one of our setters was at class today. So we're like doing 6-on-6 stuff to prepare for tomorrow, and he like stepped in to be our second setter, and he's running the offense. He's doing everything that he teaches us, and we're all like
wait a minute.
Yeah, he's just he's a good athlete, and he represents all the things that he's teaching us. So even for him to be able to bop in and like play the same level and play the same way that we do, it's really cool.
You know, he loves it too, right?
Yes,
Like, because I mean,
100%.
he's a player at heart.
He's flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Starts chirping at us, you know,
Yeah,
we're just
talking
like, all right,
trash.
come on, let's go.
Exactly.
But yeah.
I love that. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about your individual games as well. So, like, you're talking about how Reese, how you could get so much better even if you continue to take in all this information from Coach Ulmer. But, like, you're already Big 12 Rookie of the Year, Freshman of the Year. You've got all these accolades already. So how much better can you get? Like, what's the, what type of goals are you setting for yourself right now?
I mean, I think the sky's the limit. It's more of what can I continue to do for my team? What can I continue to see? Can I be an offensive threat, like, continuously throughout every game? And I know sometimes there's ups, sometimes there's downs, but, like, can I raise my everyday standard to be, like, a little bit higher every day? Like, can I continue to raise the bar of, like, this is where I need to be every game? And especially with just how the season's been going, like, can I continue to bring in my teammates? Can I continue to, with my pins, with my defense, can I talk to them and be like, hey, watch this, watch the hitter hit this shot, watch this system, watch this offensive route? Like, how can I help my teammates better understand the game during the game, and how can I continue to be just someone that people can look at to trust?
And for you, Ryan, I mean, you're a veteran. You've been at this for a while. Do you still, though, feel like even at that, point of your career with this coaching staff, there's new little subtleties that you're picking up on?
Yeah, for sure. So their coaching style was completely different than anything I had been taught in my previous 2 coaching staffs at Oregon State. I feel like I'm a late bloomer in the sense of like when I committed to Oregon State, I was a senior in high school, and they were kind of like, we don't know if you're going to be any good. Like, we just know we love your personality. Like, we want you to be a part of the team. And then from then on, like, I earned playing time. And so I think from there, it's like I'm growing later where, like, I just continue to learn, and I love the sport so much that, like, every single day I go in, like, wanting to know new things. So it's been super fun. I mean, to kind of take everything that they say, they're such a technical staff, and that's how my brain works. So it's been amazing to hear, like, all the little feedback pieces, like, the amount of rolls that I do every practice now, I never used to roll, and it's like a defensive technique on our team, and now I feel like I'm doing it all the time.
So for those of us that are not initiated in it, what does that mean?
Yeah, so essentially the way that you move your body and like after you play the ball can dictate how the ball is spun. So let's say Reese is blocking an outside, right? I'm back in left back behind her left hand or like outside of her left hand. So she's blocking a certain space, and then I'm going to be outside of her left hand so that I can be defending the space that she's not covering with her block, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say they hit it super sharp. I have to dive. If I left roll, then my platform, by the way that my body turns and rolls across the ground, will put backspin on the ball so that it lands in the perfect spot on the court.
So you actually do like a barrel roll.
So you barrel roll often.
As you are digging the ball.
And the key is to give it that extra spin to have it land. Like if I were to just shoot my body at the ball, then it would go over the net. So they teach us all these ways of like, you can dictate the spin on the ball and all these different things that I'd never been taught. And now it's like, okay, I can place the ball wherever I want it because I have the tools to do so.
Yeah, and it's so much of like a follow-through technique, and he teaches that, and like similar with hitting. It's like when you shoot a basketball, if you shoot it towards a hoop and your hand follows through to the left or the right, like it's not going to go where you want it to go. So when you roll, can you like follow through towards where you want the ball to go? Yeah. When you hit, can you hit towards where you want the ball to go? Like it's just very much of like continue to teach the technique of like following through.
And it's more than like, so like with basketball, it's more than just your wrist, your elbow comes involved and all that. So I would assume like your body positioning comes into play just as much as whether or not you're turning your wrists when you're trying to do something like this. The thing that blows my mind as a person who's never played I'm 5'8" and can't jump, so I've never played a lick of volleyball. Watching it is so incredibly entertaining because of not just the athleticism, but the speed at which it happens. Yes. And if you, like for me as a viewer, when I watch it, the reactions that you're like, what you just told me you described, you have to decide if you're going to go into a roll as a ball's coming at you at what speed from how close. I mean, I can't imagine how quick the reaction time is for you to make these decisions.
And obviously part of that is flow state. Like we talk a lot about like, can you be in your competitive mode? But like we want to obviously be implementing the things we teach in practice and we learn in practice into those games. But when you get into games, you have to be in a competitive mode of like, your body knows what to do now. Like you have to just get the ball up or you have to swing really hard and find the corners and do those things. So it's more of the informational, and it's like, how can you outsmart the other team, I guess, in gameplay. But in practice, like, you'll see us, I mean, even getting frustrated. Yesterday, we had a defense day, and I'm working on one specific thing, and if you're not getting it, you just keep doing it over and over until you can figure it out.
And then once you get into the match, it's almost more just like natural. You're relying on your natural instincts and muscle memory.
Yes.
You mentioned something, and this is, again, from an uneducated perspective here, so very possibly a dumb question. When you said that you find yourself to be a late bloomer and the way you described your career, is that a Libero thing? And the reason I asked that is because I guess I see that position as like a scrappy position, like a position where in some of the other places, I feel like in a volleyball match, it's about length and athleticism. And this is a position that's more about seeing the game. And am I wrong about that, or is that?
I don't necessarily know if that's like, if it's a specific thing. I do know that like obviously Reese was tall from like, what age did you hit 6'3", 6'2"? Like
13, 14.
Yeah.
You've been tall your whole life.
I was 5 foot as a freshman in high school, and I've grown 3 inches even in college still. Like when I was a freshman in college, I was 5'6", and now I'm 5'9". So like I was still growing. I think part of it for me is I started volleyball so late. So most people start volleyball around like 10, 11. And I didn't start until I was 15, like entering like that 7th, 8th grade year. So I think my love for the game came later on because I started it later on. And then now it's just continued because I just like continue to love it more and more. Yeah. You know?
So now, and Reese, for you, I mean, the blocks are what stand out statistically about your game. I know there's other parts to it, but how much of that comes down to the physical side versus the mental side of anticipating where, the hits are going to come and things like that?
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely a great mix of both, but it's a lot of like when you think physical, how high can I get up and over? Like it's not about reaching straight up. Like if I reach my hands straight up in the air, me as a hitter, I would see that block straight up in the air and be like, I'm going to hit that out of bounds and score a point every single time. So me blocking, can I get high and over and just really like get into their face with my hands? That's the physical aspect. And then the mental aspect is just seeing like, okay, what's their route? What's their body position look like? What's their arm look like? Are they able to get a full swing? Are they able to get a half swing? Do they have the ability to tip? Like, what is kind of that mix of just the perfect combination of what their swing looks like to just be able to see ball, block ball?
So how much of it are you actually watching the ball versus it almost seems like you're watching your opponent more than you are the ball itself in those situations?
Yeah, so me as a middle, a lot of times, especially when you're running against a super fast offense, it mixes between are you playing a team with a fast offense or a slow offense. When it's a slower offense, I can kind of take my time a little bit more in seeing the ball, seeing the hitter. But when it's a fast offense, it's more of just run straight out to the pin. If it's a pin hit, run straight out to the pin, just get my hands up where I see the ball, where I see the hitter going, and just get in front of her face. So it's kind of it's a tough mix of both, but I think it's a lot more of seeing the hitter. Where are they going? Because the hitter is going to where the ball is. So if I watch the ball, like I'm not able to see the hitter. The hitter will show me where the ball is going. Like if I see it's going outside, okay, outside, go, hitter, see the hitter. Where's she going? Okay, ball again.
Plus, something we talk about often is we're a big film team, as most teams are, but we're very technical with it. So like we want to look at like the body positioning of like some hitters, wherever their shoulders are facing when they approach is exactly where they're going to hit. And some hitters, where their shoulders are facing, they're going to hit the opposite way. So then you're kind of reading those things, like you're looking at their wrist, you're looking at their shoulders, what is their angle of approach, and all those things help you like figure out where she's going to get her hands, and then therefore like where I'm going to be around her.
Okay, so we've got this big week coming up. TCU Wednesday night. If that game hasn't already passed by the time you're watching this podcast or listening to it. And then Sunflower Showdown Friday, big weekend.
Yeah.
KUK State, volleyball and football the next day. And that's going to be at Allen Fieldhouse. Now, I will say this, for anybody that hasn't ever been to volleyball at Horish, the atmosphere is incredible. It is so much fun. It is so high energy. But then to take it over to Allen Fieldhouse for a big match, how excited are you guys, for that opportunity?
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. And I really think that we're going to be able to get a really great crowd going.
Yeah.
And I think no matter the size of the crowd, I mean, I have no idea where tickets sold are at, but I think it's still going to be very loud. I think it's going to be a very similar experience to Horish. I think the band's going to definitely bring their action, and I think it's going to be awesome. Folks,
get there Friday night. I'm just telling you, volleyball is such an incredibly entertaining sport to watch in person. Even if you're a person like me that isn't super educated in it, you see the athleticism, you understand the scoring and all that stuff, and then you're just blown away by these athletes that you see. And one of the things I love about volleyball too is the collective energy that you guys have for each other. Like after every point, you guys are like, congratulating each other. You're bringing I feel like that's a huge cultural part of volleyball.
For sure.
How do you guys I don't know. How do you foster that? How does that become such a big thing?
I mean, something that we're actually talking about as a team right now is like our emotional neutrality. Like we want to be more informational than emotional, but obviously the big rallies. Being in Horish has been so fun for us. I've never played in an environment like that personally, and especially after our road match to come in and then have an environment where you're so close to all these fans and they all want you to win. It's just so fun. But I think a lot of it for me comes from long rallies. The longer the rally and if you're just working your butt off and then you end up getting a big block or a huge kill or anything like that, that is the type of stuff that hypes you up. For some reason, it also feels like there's points here and there where you can just tell that it switches the feel of the game. There's moments where we'll win a point and I'm like, oh, this set is ours, even though we have 10 points to go still,
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is just continuing to boost competitive excellency throughout the whole set, the whole match, not just we're on a high these 5 points and then we're on a low these 5 points. How can we balance it out and be more neutral throughout the whole set, still boosting each other up, and just appreciating a good play. Even if we win or lose the point, can we appreciate the good point? And can we continue just next point, new ball, new us, let's go.
What's the information that came out of that? What did we learn from that rally? How can we apply it? Because we've been talking about, but when we stay disciplined as a team, that's when we win, and winning is the fun part.
Yeah.
That's a universal truth, isn't it? And you guys had a tough non-con. How much did that prepare you for what you're about to go through in conference play?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely prepared us for, just a great, hard, conference play. Because, I think the Big 12 is one of the best volleyball conferences in the country.
Sure.
So it's going from a super, super tough, non-con preseason to this. I feel like it really prepared us in how do we handle aggression? How do we handle really great, smart athletes across the net from us? How can we continue to, if there's a player who's just unstoppable, how can we try to stop them? How can we try to limit their ability to keep pushing against us? How can we just continue to raise the bar for ourselves?
Yeah, and then environments that we're in, obviously we played every single one of our non-cons on the road, so that only helps us because we get into Big 12 play and we kind of make every environment feel like a home environment. It's not really about everything else that's going on. Obviously, Horse is great to be in because those people are behind us and want us to win, but in every other environment, we've understood now how to tackle crazy student sections and loud bands and not being able to hear Matt screaming in our face because we literally can't hear anything else.
Yeah.
And I think that's only going to help us. I keep saying the word battle tested, that phrase, but we want to go far in the tournament and we're going to have to play at neutral venues or away venues or anything like that. So this is all just prepping us for kind of the rest of our process and those moments later on.
Okay, and then what about the football game on Saturday? Do you guys have plans to attend, or what's going on?
Yeah, this is going to be our first one.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to be at any other, so we're super stoked that we get to go and hopefully coming off of a great week from us and then getting to celebrate and watch our football team play.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to see what the booth is all about. I went to a game last year at the Chiefs Stadium against TCU, and so now I'm just super excited to be able to have a home football game against K-State, Sunflower Showdown. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I think the atmosphere Friday night and Saturday are going to be absolutely incredible. So it's a big, big weekend coming up. Before we wrap it up, because I got to know a little bit about deer skinning, I got to ask you a little bit, Ryan, about things that you do away from volleyball as well. And from what I understand, you showed up here, resume in hand, to the athletic director, Travis Goff, and said, I want an internship. Are you doing an internship with Kansas Athletics right now?
Yeah. Well, I actually just finished it up. So for my master's program here in sports management, you have to do an internship class. And when I showed up in March, I would love to be a coach one day, a college coach eventually, or work in a university athletic administration standpoint. And I kind of walked in and I was talking to my academic advisor, Vince, and he was like, yeah, you're going to have to get an internship somewhere. And based on the ones that I had, the only one that made kind of made me I don't know, get excited, I guess, was thinking about working for the AD suite. And I told Vince that, and he was like, no one has ever done that. What are you talking about? So essentially, I kind of got to know everyone around the athletic department, and then I ended up coaching Travis's kids in some volleyball lessons. And so when he picked them up from one of their lessons, that was the first time I met him, and he was like, I've literally met everyone knows who you are except for me. How do I not know who you are? And then I kind of walked into their office a few weeks later and talked to Steph, the chief of staff, and she was just like, oh, here's your resume and here's all your things. Yeah, we can set up an interview. So I really wanted it, and I think part of the reason that they hired me was they saw that drive, hopefully. But it's been amazing. It has been so cool, so informational. To get to see the background of it and how everything functions on a high athletic program has been really cool.
Let that be a lesson to you guys out there. If you want to get in good with the boss, coach their kids in a sport and do a good job, and then all of a sudden, foot in the door. Smart. That's a Libero. That's a thinker, as a player. Guys, thank you very much for the time. This was really fun, and best of luck coming up on a couple of big matches at home this week. TCU, you got a lot of purple coming to town. TCU and K-State, you gotta take care of the business against them.
And I also did hear Matt Ulmer did say for the K-State match, if we're able to sell 10,000 tickets, I think it was, he would sing the national anthem.
And it's going to be on national television.
It would be broadcasted. It would be broadcasted.
It's broadcasted.
Spread the news.
The challenge has been laid down, Jayhawk Nation. 10,000 tickets sold, and you get to hear the head coach sing the national anthem on national television. Isn't he good? Have you guys heard him? Does he have bars?
He'll sing randomly. So I guess we haven't seen the whole thing yet.
Something tells me that he knows he's a good singer, and he's warming those pipes up like he wants to show off a little bit.
I think
I want to see what he's got to offer.
It's trying to stay humble, but then he's like, no, I really do want to sing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. Let's get it. 10,000. We got to get there. It's going to be a huge matchup coming up. That's on Friday night at Allen Fieldhouse against K-State, and, of course, Wednesday against TCU as well. That's going to do it for us on this edition of the Jayhawker Podcast. We have been brought to you by Xfinity and the University of Kansas Health Systems. Ryan White and Reese Ptacek have been joining us, and we'll see you next time here on the Jayhawker Podcast.